please leave us a glowing 5-star Please leave us a glowing 5-star review. Why is it hard to say 5-star review suddenly?
Because it's 11:33 a.m. and you've probably been drinking. And this is Gaytriarchs.
So, David, my back hurts. My back hurts.
Mm-hmm.
My muscles hurt. My shoulders hurt. My arms hurt. Everything hurts.
Your neck, your back, your pussy, and my crack. My neck, my back.
Everything hurts.
Yes.
Everything hurts. It cracks. And by crack, I mean everything feels like it's cracking. Because we've had some fun weather here recently, haven't we?
Yeah, a lot of snow.
I mean, if it's going to be cold, please give me snow.
And
not
also
just let
good snow, too.
And
like
good snow.
Because if you've never lived in snow, listener, I will tell you that like there's good snow and there's bad snow. And then there's like middle of the road snow. But like good snow is like fluffy and powdery and you get to play and do stuff. The worst snow is the kind that melts a little bit and then immediately freezes.
Yeah.
More.
Which is usually what I find to be New York, New Jersey snow. Yeah. Everything about it sucks. Yeah. So we've had really good snow of late. And the other day, my kids went sledding and they had just a gay old time, right?
Yeah.
And I, of course, was like, well, I'm not going to just stand around and watch it the entire time. But I'm like, I probably have 2 runs in me. So in our town, the country club, to my utter shock, allows kids. It's the best sledding in town. And I cannot believe they have not shut it down because there are some trees that inevitably somebody hits. And then, of course, just like, you know, in general, kids are hitting each other. And
wait, is this a country club you're a member of?
No, that's the thing. It's open. The town just shows up and we all go to the country club. I'm not a member, not at all. Although I do think that the country club should get some of its bougie members to sell $5 hot chocolate with a $3 shot. And I would pay it.
I know you would. Yeah,
I absolutely would. Just skip the hot chocolate, by the way. But anyway, so I'm standing there and my 11-year-old son now can't just sled. He has to build a jump, right?
Yeah,
of course.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, when your kid is not an Einstein, when they have no ability to step back and think, plan out what kind of jump are we building, right? Mm-hmm. Instead, their idea is they have to have the swoopiest of swoops to go straight up into the air, not out and catch air. We're on a hill after all. You know, you're going to catch air. No, they have to swoop up and then they inevitably do a face plant.
Yeah.
Their backs crack.
They want to break the most amount of bones possible.
Most amount of bones.
Yeah.
So I want you to, spoiler, I did not go off the jump. I absolutely refuse to. I know
was
my
really
limits.
Hoping.
No. I know my limits. And just the 2 runs that I did not on jumps made everything hurt. But also, I would stand there and my back would hurt watching them do it because I just thought, oh God, there goes his soccer career. And me standing there for 2 hours just shooting the shit with people. Now, admittedly, I love to shoot the shit with people. I love soccer sidelines. I love sledding. But you stand there in the cold shivering and your whole body hurts after a while. And so I'm so old that everything hurts from shivering. But it was fun to watch my son actually kind of like playing with the girls too, because they got into a snowball fight with boys versus girls. Which,
I mean, he's getting to that age now where
100%. 100%. And they were having such a good time. And
have you told him you're disappointed in him for not being gay? The way you groomed him?
He already sees the disappointment in my face every single day.
Oh, man. I mean, there's something, there is, if you've watched the little B-roll 30-second trailer we've made for Gaytriarchs, which I'm sure all of you have. It's pinned to the top of our Instagram profile. One of the videos is Gavin jumping on a trampoline and then hurting his back. Yeah. Which now, we admittedly, we staged, but from real experience.
Real experience, absolutely. So I went down the hill a couple of times in front of all of those adults. That's the other thing too, is, you know, if you go down, they're all watching to be like, who is that old man? And how long is it going to take him to stand up? Because it is so hard to stand up from a sled. And basically you just roll over like like,
and you're trying to impress the parents too. You're like, no, I'm
Totally.
really young and beautiful and virile, and
absolutely.
I'm ready to go.
No, but you're
I'm not going to let them see how badly I hurt.
Yeah, you try to jump up as fast as possible because there's really no way of doing it without being Humpty Dumpty rolling out of the sled, and then having like you can't just you can't stand up quickly. It's
like getting out of a hammock. There's no sexy way out of it. There's no
Yeah.
sexy way to get out of a hammock.
I think sleds and hammocks. I think you're exactly right about that.
Honestly, the fact that you didn't end up in the hospital is a plus in my.
Tell me about it. Tell me about the only casualty was that my hat flew off a few times because I was wearing a baseball hat, which is brings up a whole host of other things. Why were you just wearing a baseball hat? Anyway, it was. I live for sledding days. It is so very fun. But boy, I'm old. And
it is really fun. Speaking of hospitals and breaking your bones, I have an apology to our listener. Last episode, when I was talking about my butt stuff, my colonoscopy and my endoscopy, I realized I said, once you're 45, you have to have them every year. That is a lie.
A lie.
That is not
lies
true.
And misinformation.
Once every 10 years. I think I was just excited about getting strangers in my butt once a year. And so I said once every... I know everyone is coming, our listener is coming to us for their medical advice, but it is not once every year. It is once every 10
after all,
years.
Thank you for reestablishing our integrity as America's finest news source. And we cop to it when we've made a mistake. But also, can you be blamed for wanting, some stranger butt stuff once a year? I mean, if that's...
Yeah.
You can't
if you're into like medical
years.
play, this is the place to go. I did have to pay the bill came due today, and it was so obscene how much it cost me.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm not even going to say the number because it hurts me.
Right. Weird that Gaytriarchs doesn't offer health insurance, huh? Does it offer?
Can you imagine if we offered health insurance?
Someday, baby. Someday.
Someday. One thing I wanted to bring up, and this is just like one of those like thought experimenty, like gay dads versus straight dads thing.
Okay.
Have you noticed in your school life, or even just like regular life with your kids, that you are the only parent who comes with both parents to things? Like, for example, when we go to walk my son to the bus in the morning, it's 3 blocks away from our house. It's always me and my husband, and we always bring our daughter with us, and we all go as a family. We drop him off. We all go back. Same thing when we go pick him up from school. Me and my husband go together. We are 100% of the time the only 2-parent family picking people up. Now, it's mostly the moms, but is that number one? Is that crazy? B, is that something you do or noticed?
1, yes, you are crazy. I believe, I think this is you being
for this reason.
Oh, yeah, it's so cute. Our kid goes to school. This is clearly a case of my child is in kindergarten. You wait. Eventually, you won't give a shit anymore, and you'll be like, "I ain't nobody got time for this."
But there's other kindergartners there.
Yes.
No.
You're the only one who does this. Number 2 is you're the only one who does this. My partner and I, we tag team the first day of school and the last day of school just for nostalgia's sake. And in between, it is absolutely a situation of not it.
Oh, wow.
Not it.
But Eve, this happens at daycare too. When I drop my daughter off at daycare, 100% of the parents, it's one parent walking everyone in.
Yes. That is logical.
So I'm the problem.
Yes.
It's me.
You are crazy. You're the problem.
I thought this was like a straight gay thing.
No.
You're saying it's a David versus the world thing.
It is absolutely, you are at the center of it all. And I appreciate that you're not like shaming the rest of us who have better things to do with our time than you and your husband, because you two are giving way too much time to drop off and pick up.
But it's
yes, it's adorable. I agree with you. And I think you're creating memories and fostering a wonderful child in that process who will not grow up to be an axe murderer.
I will say, on the days that like I'm too busy to like, if like my husband just gets the kids by himself, it's lovely. It's real nice to just be at home and then children arrive. Oh man, it's really nice.
You have 7 minutes of silence to yourself. I can't believe that this is can't believe this is a scenario that you have brought up that is a surprise. That's a shock to me.
Well, I think there's something going on in the air because I've also noticed my TikTok algorithm changing, and now I'm getting all of these fucking videos of these parents doing this thing where they go, someday, it's like a woman and she's like in the front seat of her car and she's like, oh man, I'm so annoyed by my kids being so loud in the back seat. And then like the woman turns and it cuts to the back seat and it's empty. It's like, and someday you wish they were still back. It's one of those fucking things.
This.
But my whole feed has become this like, just you wait. You're going to miss these days. You're going to miss it when it's gone.
So much just you waiting.
And listener, if you've ever listened to the show before, which you hopefully haven't, this is one of the biggest things stuck in my craw is this like, oh, you better enjoy it while you're there. And the total fucking disconnect older parents have with this. They think, oh, you're just not enjoying these lovely extra cuddles at night or the extra time they want water. It's not that. It's fucking war, and you're drowning in it. And you're from 12 years later cherry picking these beautiful fake memories that don't exist and be like, oh, I wish you would just sit.
You're rewriting history. Yeah, no, 100%. I completely agree. And it is a fact. Time speeds up and you miss it and you look back, but you're only, you do not recall. It is a human element of survival that you do not recall all of the war times and the foxholes that you're in with diapers and complete sleep deprivation. No, nobody wants to go back to that. That's why you hope for grandkids, and then you have grandkids and you hand them over, I suppose.
That's
oh my God,
key.
we're talking about grandkids.
No, but I mean that. I think that's maybe the secret to unlocking all of this is just get older and have grandkids.
Yeah, but the whole like forcing us our nostalgia and feeling bad about it, I'm just not here for that.
It's like trying to fix the future nostalgia by enjoying the extra cuddles now. So when you're older, you won't miss the extra cuddles. We have already talked about this. You're going to miss them regardless. Yes, try to be present, blah, 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 blah. But like the only solution here is to bottle it up, and that can't happen. And so let's just fucking let it go.
And come on to a podcast where we complain about our children and how much we love them. So there you go.
Nonstop. And I'd like to add to our podcast a new segment.
Oh, great.
And in true Gaytriarchs fashion, I'm going to be a total hypocrite and totally about face with what I was just saying. Okay. So now, our Gaytriarchs premiere segment, A Moment of Awe. So this was my
I'm flabbergasted. This is so much hashtag gratitude.
I know. That's what I mean.
So much. Okay.
But wait, this is my way of isolating these moments of like gratitude and like softness, I feel, because I'm supposed to be the hard asshole who talks dick jokes all the time. Right. But I need to like let some of the niceness out every once in a while. So I'm going to force it into this little category called A Moment of Awe. And that way we can just kind of get it out there and it won't feel as disgusting and stickly. So something I've noticed, and you will, I'm sure, agree with this, is that when, we hug our kids a lot. I pick up my kids, they hug me, I grab them, kicking and screaming from a Toys R Us, but like you hold your kids a lot from when they're babies and, as long as you can hold them. And what I'm noticing a lot now, I mean, you notice it as it happens, but really a lot with my 5-year-old is how their bodies, as they get bigger, I can't hold them the same way. My arms have to go in different places and my arms get tired at different places.
You're already calculating how soon can you put them down because you don't have the strength anymore?
Because you're 48 pounds, bro. Yeah. Like I can't carry you 10 blocks, but also like how, like, when you want to get them really close in the nook of your neck, but like you can't really because they're too big now and their weird fucking lumpy shoulder blades are in it was just one of these moments I was like, oh my God, like they're getting bigger, which is so fucking stupid to say. I know, but it is physically holding them and hugging them is changing. And that is really fucking weird and sweet and all the things.
I appreciate that you say you are noticing it as you go along, because this is so one of those cases of suddenly you turn around and you think, when was the last time I actually held my child? When was the last time I picked them up? Because there does come a time. I don't know when was the last time I picked up my son. My daughter is in a phase right now, and this could be my moment of awe, where she's been tackle hugging me lately, which usually it's followed. That was a natural awe.
That was a natural awe. Wait, can I guess what you're about to say? It's usually followed up by a request to go to Starbucks.
Not always, but I do know my reaction, sadly, is, what do you want from me? Because you're hugging me right now. You're hugging me with your entire body hanging a little bit.
What's the scam? Yeah.
What is the scam here? But I'll take it. But I'm like, it's hard for me I can't carry her 10 blocks these days. Heck
but
no.
that's that cliche. Was like at some time is the last time you ever pick up your kid kind of a deal. But it is weird. Just like where my arms go. Like I pick up my son now and he's such like I keep thinking about his shoulder blades. They're like pointy and
How
awkward.
funny.
I'm like, oh no, the boy is just melting away and I can't really hold you very well.
Yep.
And whatever. Anyway, that was my moment of awe.
So in gay news,
Oh, please be something good. Please be something good. Please be something good.
there's nothing good. There's just nothing good. But I'm going to force a little bit of good news, which is simply that I think it's kind of cool that I noticed that in DC, where they have what they call World Pride, which I'm like, that's the most American thing I've ever heard, is we're just going to go ahead and claim World Pride and put it in DC. But Shakira is headlining Pride in DC this year, which I think is like, which I think is like, well, thank goodness she's still, people are, there will be a Pride and A-listers are going to be there. So I feel like that's something worth celebrating. And that is your gay news of the day because there ain't nothing else.
You know what it's not worth celebrating?
What?
Our top 3 list.
Gaytriarchs top 3 list. 3, 2, 1.
All right. So this week is my week, and I want to know what you think are the 3 hottest cartoon characters. I'm sure that this could go in 100 different ways. We didn't set any parameters.
Nope.
We didn't say include Disney princes or not, or include Disney princesses or not, because there is no gender specificity here. But
yeah, I think we both know who we're going to pick.
All right. So for me, number 3, Robin Hood, the fox.
Oh. Yeah,
the fox
okay, I get that.
The Disney Robin. He's just got a bit of swagger.
But there's just that wink that says, like, I'd let you blow me. Do you know what I mean?
You know, he's kind of got broad shoulders, teeny waist.
Totally. Round things in your face, you get sprung.
The fox Robin Hood. Yeah, I think he's number 3 on my list.
Yep.
Number 3. Number 2, Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No,
that's
true.
He should be unbuttoning that shirt and his jaunty little scarf that definitely says you can blow me whenever you want in the time machine. What's the name of their van?
The something machine.
Not
the dream machine. God, our listeners screaming it out right now. And they're
screaming it out.
1997 Ford Tempo driving to work. What? No, what is
anyway, Fred and his jaunty scarf, and you know that like he's just ripped for days.
Oh yeah.
And then I feel like, I'm going to make that a honorable mention. Number 1, Flynn Rider from Tangled.
Yes, he was up there for me. Yeah.
Honorable mention, obviously, He-Man.
Yes, of course. I mean, I feel like that was everyone's gay.
Yes.
Everyone our age. It's like the
Right.
gay. Yeah. That was good. You know, interesting. I was going back and forth between humans and non-humans, and you have Robin Hood in there, but I didn't choose, but all of mine are human, I will say. So I'm not totally fucking disgusting, even though I'm very disgusting. All right. For me, number 3. This is a little bit niche. Aladdin's dad, Kasim. Do you remember him? Hold on, I gotta get.
He's in the movie.
He's in, I think, one of those like weird direct to DVD,
direct to VHS.
Let me see if I'm gonna show you a picture.
Oh,
yeah,
he's got like some silver sides.
Yeah, no, he is
nice.
super hot. And you know what we're going to do? When this episode is released, let's try to post on Instagram all photos of all of our people, because I think that would be really fun. We'll never remember to do it.
No,
and you're listening out there going, where is it? We didn't do it.
And Disney will probably sue us for it, by the way, because of intellectual property rights, but whatever.
Whatever. Number
come
2.
At us, Disney. Disney, come at us. Come for the Gaytriarchs, please, Disney.
Number 2 for me, Casey Jones. Do you remember who Casey Jones is?
No. Wait, is that you said it was human. Is that like a train from 1953?
No, he was the boyfriend of April O'Neil in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was the one. He was the one that had like the hockey mask on, and he would like fight crime with his hockey stick.
Nice.
Hold on, I have pictures of all these. I'm going to show Gavin. Tell me.
Oh,
come on. Oh, he's got this like jock who will call you faggot, but also let you suck his dick. We have a theme I'm noticing for this group. Sorry, listener, it's getting a little R-rated. And number 1, if you know me even a little bit, this is no surprise. The dad from Cocomelon.
Yes.
He is something else. Not only is he sexy, he's like ginger a little bit. He does scenes at the beach. Look, I'm going to show Gavin a picture of him at the beach. There's him at the beach. But his hand to like face ratio, his hand is as big as his face, and it's very sexy. So number 1, the dad from Coco Melon.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what is next week's top?
Next week we're gonna go. What are the top 3 dog breeds?
Okay. So our next guest is, well, a straight dude with a fabulous wife who happens to be an Italian shoe designer fashionista from Italy, which might be the gayest thing about him. He's also a fantastic dad who frankly knows more than the rest of us about parenting, so he wrote a book about it and will soon be a certified life coach focused on, well, parenting. But for now, he's just begrudgingly a high-powered New York City attorney. Welcome to the show, our latest honorary Gaytriarch, Mark Hsu. Welcome, Mark.
Hello.
Mark.
Hi.
Okay,
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Our burning question is always, how have your kids already driven you batty today?
This was let's have a little caveat here.
Okay.
They're generally pretty good. So it's not like they're 4 years old and they don't know what a podcast is. So
save it for another show, Mark. Save it for another show. We don't want to hear the good stuff.
Yeah, we
Go right
already.
to the bad stuff.
But this week we happened to have a car, which is a big deal, and we were driving around New Jersey, and one of my daughters she said, "Oh, can we go to the Hobby Lobby?" Do you know what the Hobby Lobby is?
Yeah.
Zero idea. So it's got like a bunch of crap, and she wanted to make a quilt. Okay. So we're buying all sorts of materials and cotton padding and all this other crap, and we're there for a while, and I said to her, "Hey, I hope you follow through on this." And she goes, she got really indignant. She said, "When have I ever not followed through on something?" I said, "I've been asking for a stupid little string bracelet from you for like past fucking year and a half."
I just want a friendship bracelet, darling.
It's just like, and every time it's just like, "Well, Dad, what do you want for your birthday?" So it's like, "Just the bracelet would be great." Okay. Christmas, yeah, just a bracelet. Father's Day bracelets. It's been 5 times where she's asked me what I want. And I keep on saying that. And I know we're just going to have like a bunch of material just sitting in a corner. Gathering dust.
I was hoping that you would say, like, when she was like, "When have I ever done that?" You're like, "Well, I have a PowerPoint presentation for you." Click, and then you just go through every single time.
Of all the ways you've disappointed me over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm prepping some with my kids, and they're only 5 and 3.
You're not the only one able to use Google Slides for birthday wish lists.
But also, can you help me log in because I can't find my password?
Exactly.
So true. You're absolutely right about that, Mark. I didn't realize that was like a universal thing right now. Kids making Google slide presentations of their Christmas lists.
Yeah,
David, we've never talked about this open can of worms. I mean, my kids, I thought, you actually have you're learning something at that public school of yours. You know how to make a Google slide list of your Christmas list.
I feel like it's kind of like the kids are doing the promposals. I'm like, that's a creative, thoughtful thing that they have to do that we never did.
Yeah. It definitely takes a lot of guesswork out of it. But at the same time, it's like, do you really need another sweatshirt? Come on.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So many oversized sweatshirts. So many oversized. Also, there are apps now, right, where they can basically preload their wish list and be like, "Dad, with just a touch of a button, here you've got all of my wish list." I'm like, wow, that's convenient for your consumerism, isn't it?
It's awful.
Fun. Not fun.
And so, Mark, speaking of, let's talk a little more about your kids, can we? Just tell us about your family. Who's in it, and what are those dynamics like in your massively outnumbered life that you lead?
And who's your favorite kid? List them. Go.
Go. Sarah's my wife, and she really runs everything. She does run everything. She really does. And I have 2 girls, 16 and almost 15 years old. So in just the thick of teenage parenting. And that it's. I grew up as an only kid, so I have just zero reference for like how a teenage girl acts. Also, because I wasn't exactly like the super social guy, so it was it's really interesting just to see them. Sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're just fucking horrible. They're just horrible to each other, and then I guess we'll come into our house, and then they'll just be like they'll go back to being the nicest kids again. So
that was going to be my question, because I have two kids, but they're 5 and 3, so they're way far away from that. But like sometimes they are best of friends and make each other belly laugh, and sometimes they will literally fight like caged animals over a veggie straw they found underneath the Roomba. That was an argument this morning, was that he was walking around with a veggie straw he found on the ground, and she was screaming at him that that's my veggie straw. And I just want to know, does it get better?
It does not.
God, no, damn it, Mark.
It becomes, well, I mean, if it's girls, it's not as physical. There've been only a couple of times where it's gotten physical, but it's the psychological warfare is just on another level.
The psychological warfare of your entire family, though, I think is like your wife is super international. She's Italian, but sort of raised in England, right?
Yep.
Something like that. I mean, I would imagine that there is such a level of, I don't know, femininity in your house that I would imagine. I envision you just being shut out the door sometimes, being like, "Oh, Mark, you don't understand. Just get out."
It's helped that my younger daughter is really into sports. That's helped a lot, and so she's really into the WNBA, and as a result, I've gotten really into the WNBA, and so that's good. There were, until then, when she really got into it, I'd act like a pissy little bitch, and I'd be like, no one in this household understands me. Just like, kicking the ground, in the living room. Yeah.
I feel like that Gavin has mentioned this before. I don't have experience with this, but like there's these little access points to get through, and for you, it was that sports thing. Like we can meet on the sports level, and maybe find other places from there. And Gavin, I think it was like Starbucks or something.
Yeah,
where you're like, somehow this was my entry point to like talk to my daughter like a human being.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Where we finally are seeing, I don't know, not exactly eye to eye, but I certainly. It's a bonding point for sure. So then finally with teenagerhood, I mean, has raising two teenagers been harder than you expected or easier than you expected?
I think we got a bit lucky. The kind of the really kind of rebellious period, or kind of the separating, that actually happened for our older daughter. It was kind of during COVID. So we were forced together. So it wasn't like she could just go off and take off and just, smoke cigarettes or something like that. But it was like really, so that was kind of good. But yeah, the moody stuff, it's okay. It's not as bad as I thought. Everybody is, I mean, I remember once, long before I met Sarah, I met this guy, who went
Was this the gay part of the interview?
It is.
Met this guy off of Snippy's. He was lovely.
He went to Johns Hopkins during the same time I did, and he was like a jock. He was like the cool crowd, all this other stuff. And we happened to be working with each other on a case, and we were just hanging out. And he was talking about his teenage girls, and he was going through like a tough time, personally and all this other stuff. And he was telling me about his teenage girls, and he looked at me and he was just like, "It is hell." And I just saw like this guy who was like such a cool guy on campus reduced to like just a shell of an old man.
Well, that's relatable. That's very relatable. Well, speaking of being a shell of an old man, one of the reasons we wanted to talk to you is because you are a published author of what I may say is, David, I never speak in exaggerations whatsoever. Never once. This is definitely the best parenting book I've ever read, and by far the funniest. And you get advice from it, and you just like it's just an easy read and a touching read and all the things. And in particular, the title is "Please Open in the Event of My Death: A father's advice to his daughter in case something horrible happens," which hopefully it won't, but just in case. The levels of neuroses about that. It's the
Totally.
most New York title I've ever heard. But then in particular, I remember, admittedly, I read it a couple of years ago. And of course, I read it last night as well in preparation to talk to you again.
Oh, yay.
What I remember is the chapters are divided into such relatable elements of like this aspect of your life and this aspect of your life. So some of the chapters are describe yourself in 3 words. And that's in quotes because it's just like the bullshit of, oh my God, you're so many times in your life, you're going to have to describe yourself in 3 words. And it's an exercise in futility. And yet you just have to play along with it. Or what TV show theme songs from Cheers, Friends, The Golden Girls, etc. are trying to get at? Or the wisdom of Charlie Sheen. Or the last one is advice on how to successfully navigate social waters from someone who has never voted prom king or won any senior superlatives, etc. It's very self-deprecating. I hope that you got out all of your insecurities while writing this. But anyway, tell us about your book and why did you write an ode to your daughters?
It started when they were about 3 and 4, actually. And at the year they were 3 and 4 was kind of a tough year. And I was doing a lot of travel, for work, and I'm just a jumpy flyer to begin with. Not timely at all, but I mean, I would just, every time I would go on a flight, I would think, if this plane goes down, the kids aren't going to remember a single thing about me. Right. Mm-hmm. And so that was basically the book was the answer to what would I wanted them to know. Uh-huh. And it's about just very personal things like meeting Sarah for the first time and just kind of, and also talking about my family and my background. And then, because it wasn't, there are other books out there that are just, life advice for your kids. But usually these people were, having like a mortality, like mortal illness, basically. Mm-hmm. And they were ready to, they really need to get out. So they end up being very, dark in a sense and very, very kind of heavy. And so I was lucky in that I was able to just play around with it and have more fun with it and kind of keep it light.
So far. It's coming for you. It's coming for you, Mark.
No way.
Yeah. But yeah, you're like curating your legacy, right? You're trying to yeah. Interesting.
It's interesting because you have these general notions of what's important to you and how you want your kids to. But if you really think about it, and you think about what are the 3 things you want your kid to be, like mm-hmm. just at their core, mm-hmm. then it really sharpens your vision as to what kind of, how do you want to parent your kid, mm-hmm. And how do you want to help them develop in a way that you think, oh, this will be good for them.
Mm-hmm. Wow. What do you want your kids to be? What are the 3 things, Gavin, you want your kids to be?
Oh, what I want my
rich.
And I would squeeze not an asshole in there.
Yeah.
I mean, rich and not an asshole. Yeah. So rich.
So poor.
Rich.
Yeah.
So poor.
No.
So Mark, have your daughters read it by this point?
They have started it. and somewhere along the way, they kind of stopped. For one of them, it was she didn't complain, but she said it just got too sad. I think it was like it was too sad for her because I describe about how they used to be, and it's about time passing, right? And so I think, but then my counter to that is she's been on this streak of wanting to watch really weepy movies. So she saw the other day, she saw A Beautiful Boy. It's about a story about drug addiction, Timothée Chalamet.
Nice. Oh yeah, right.
And she's crying her eyes out. She's watched Dead Poets Society like twice in the last month, and she's just again crying her eyes out. She wants to see like Schindler's List.
Oh my god!
You want to do that?
Yeah.
You don't want to read my book? What the hell?
Yeah.
But
my book was too sad, and let's go to Schindler's List. Okay.
So, but they're reading, and I'm I do tell them it's interesting the number of times where I say this is in the book. When I'm telling, they ask certain questions, and I'm just like, hey, I'll tell you. I tell them, I give them the answer, but I say to them, hey, Just FYI, it's in the book.
I feel like though it's hard. It would be hard for me at 15 or 16 to give a shit about what my dad thought about me at 3. But man, at 25, is that book going to be so valuable to them when they're in their apartment and they're feeling it's, I think it's when you click over. We all had that point of seeing your parents as this like general blob of like, you're a parent to like this human who became a parent, this, right? Because I feel like that is a point where your whole view of your parent changes, and I bet your book is going to be really valuable to you. But until now, it's just an annoyance to them. Clearly,
right now,
I love that they'd rather see Schindler's List than read your book. That is the quote that should go on the New York Times article about it. Like, my kids would rather watch Schindler's List than read this book.
That's the best book jacket.
Totally.
Blurb I've ever imagined. Well, so now it has been a few years since you wrote it. Is there any advice you look back on now and think, wow, that was garbage?
You know what? I'm gonna pat myself on the back here. Nothing. There's nothing that's like points out as, oh, this kind of missed the mark. Like there's kind of un-PC stuff about what guys think of girls. So like about basically, and just and so like what they're really after, and it's like, and it's really on-PC, but they're getting a crash course in it right now. Like you just have like these, and so that's been good. What's been pretty relevant right now is there's a whole chapter on Friends, right? The ones that you mentioned, the TV show, that's been really kind of helpful in terms of helping them navigate, because it's with especially teenage girls, it's like one day you're best friends and the other you hate each other, right? And so it's that's been really good to feel like, oh, this is really helping them out.
And it feels life or death to them, right? They can't see it the way we see it, where we're like, oh yeah, fuck that girl, who cares? There's just me. But to them, it is life or death. Dan Savage says it best when he calls men testosterone-soaked dick monsters. It's like, yeah, that's it. That's us.
I should have used that. Plagiarize that.
Yeah. Well, that can be in volume 2. Yeah. One of the things I also found, I mean, you're so self-deprecating in it, but it's like you are, I like all of us, relatively successful. I mean, we're standing up and here on a podcast, aren't we? And relatively happy. We could all complain about how awful our lives are, but at the same time, we all live good lives. And so, but you're able to show the self-deprecating nature of like being an awkward teenager and unable to talk to friends. And then you land this amazing Italian wife and everything. I mean, but it's you go through the self-deprecation, which has been interesting. And one element that I found also interesting is that you talk a lot about Asian identity in it as well. And you talk about your coming to terms with it, coming to age, and bestowing advice upon them also as being like, hey, you are daughters who are of mixed race, and you'll probably have to deal with some of this shit too. And can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's... I grew up in, basically I just moved from place to place until I was about 14 years old. And so I always felt like an outsider, and it was really tough to fit in and just feel like, comfortable socially. My girls don't feel that way, or at least as much that way, which is nice. And I think, in an odd way, social media can cut both ways, right? It can be this thing where you feel connected to people, but then you do too much of it, then you overdose on it, and you just get really, it's just a terrible, awful space to be in, where you're constantly overthinking things. And so, I think that's really been nice to kind of help them. This was all about being Asian and stuff. But yeah, I think they're both at a school. They're at Brooklyn Tech, which is the country's largest high school, 6,000 kids.
Wow.
It's crazy. And there are a lot of kids who are Asian. And so they see they see like the wide range of Asian kids who are, they study really hard, but they don't have great social skills. And then others who are, much more, say, rebellious and ready to go crazy. And so they're kind of finding their own voice, so to speak, and just trying to be like someone who's proud of who they are, and also not succumbing to stereotypes of them. And it's very different from when I grew up, because, my back in the 70s, it was this emphasis on, hey, we came to this country and we're going to fit in. We're gonna assimilate. We're not going to, we're just gonna blend into society. And so I think a consequence of that was me, again, trying to fit in and trying to, I don't know, tamp down aspects of my Asian identity just to do that.
Gavin, what are some of your favorite Asian stereotypes?
Oh my. This is
and
like
please do it with voices. Use voices.
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
This is not SNL where they write the race jokes for each other on the news.
Just Mark, just FYI, my entire goal for every interview is to set Gavin up for failure consistently, as much as I can do, as many roadblocks as I can do.
Funny, he often doesn't need help with that, but yes, I'll say that in my own deprecating way. Well, the book really is a complete delight, really, and I hope you're happy with it. Are you happy with it? Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm happy. I think one of the fears I had writing it was just that I would look at it 6 months or a year later and just cringe at some of the things I wrote. And I haven't read my book since, so maybe I think in my own mind it's like, oh, this is perfect. But I'm sure, but I feel like, oh, I think it holds up, and
it does.
I don't know. There's sometimes I just read and I'm just like, oh, this is pretty good. I don't know how I could possibly do better than this.
Well, it's also like the entry point there. Like, you can't, anybody who's ever had to parent somebody, like, you're immediately humbled and you're immediately forced to reckon with the fact that we're all kind of terrible at it and then also all great at it. And so to see a book like this that is like honoring all of the failure as well as the positivity, I think is why you're like, okay, so, some of the parenting are like, this is the way you have to parent. And just setting it up that way is like, oh, I don't trust this person, because clearly this person has no idea how to deal with a veggie straw incident that happened this morning. So I think that's partially why probably your book is so digestible. So like, oh, this guy gets it, right? Like, this guy really gets it.
Amazing segue to Mark knowing exactly how to parent well, right? Because Mark, can you tell us about your next venture, please?
Ooh, yeah. So as Gavin knows, I've spent so much time trying to do things other than being a lawyer,
which is an entire chapter in the book as well. I mean, I read it and I'm like, if any of his colleagues get a hold of this, he's going to be fired, which hasn't happened yet, right?
Yeah, there's been some warnings. Let's put it that way.
It was the OnlyFans that got the warnings.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's I really originally the original plan for this was actually to write it anonymously. And so, and I was actually going to like try to leave some trail of breadcrumbs to actually, have people who knew, like, oh, maybe this could, I know this person or whatever.
Right.
But in the end, yeah, I have a bit of a conflicted feeling about the law. And I think, especially I do litigation, which is just fighting in court every day. And I thought, well, it's not what I'm best at. I can do this. I mean, I've done this for 25 years. I know how to litigate and to write and to argue and all this other stuff. But is it really what I'm really best at? It's kind of the analogy that I think of is, maybe I'm classically trained pianist, but I'm really more of a jazz guy, right? Mm-hmm. And so I thought, well, what is something that would be, what are my strengths, and what would something that would really capitalize on? And I'm going to shout out my friend Miriam, who's a coach herself, and
hey Miriam, hope you're a listener.
Miriam, yeah. Yeah, and she kind of opened me up to this idea of life and executive coaching that is kind of takes a lot of my skill sets, which is listening, empathy, problem solving, and just kind of helping someone through a situation. And so as a result, I did a course, a 10-month course, which involved, I think, 300, 400 hours of instruction and actual one-on-one coaching. And now I'm a certified life coach. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so it's been really rewarding. And I really want to be able to develop this if possible.
Listening, problem solving. Gavin, these are not our skill sets.
Not at all.
We are being helpful. Yeah, this is not our skill set. We're going to have to hire him because that's not for us.
Well, then, so what do you think makes a good coach? Like, is it just having a tolerance for other people's bullshit neuroses and trying not to roll your eyes, or is it doling out advice and being like, I know you're not going to listen to me anyway, but like, what makes a good coach?
So I think the biggest misconception about coaching is that it's giving advice, and it's really, real coaching is basically is premised on this idea that the client knows best, right? So if you have a problem and you describe it for 45 minutes, it's kind of presumptuous for me to, at the end of those 45 minutes, say, hey, guys, this is what you should do, because you haven't told me, everything about that situation. I'm not inside your head as to how you're feeling. So it's really more about me asking the questions that help you arrive at the answer. And so it sounds when it's done well, it's like, yeah, you get real insights and breakthroughs. And I think the key to doing that, to being a good coach, is certainly listening, and really also not holding judgment. That's really the thing that holds back like a lot of people from being vulnerable and really being honest and being open to change and so forth. So those are the kinds of things that's really helpful in being a coach, and certainly confidentiality, and really, again, that's all judgment related, right?
I feel like our first, or Gavin, tell me if I'm wrong, I think our very, very first top 3 list was top 3 pieces of parenting advice. Was it not?
Oh,
I feel like it was.
That seems like the banal, basic way we would start out.
So frankly, speaking of banal, I'm going to ask you that question. Like, of all the advice, this is not necessarily your coaching self-talking. This is just your dad. So like, of all the advice that you could give and you're like, oh, this all worked for me, is there one thing that you latch on to? You're like, this is a core thing that I've learned that is true.
I would say, if you're just, this is so corny. If you're a good person, and I say this to my girls all the time, if you're a good person, like, eventually good people will come to you, and it's really hard to kind of, to get in the moment when something bad is happening.
Yeah.
But like, good energy attracts good energy, right? And
Gavin, I'm
bad
so
energy
sorry.
attracts,
David,
I
was actually waiting for him to speak so I could be like,
I could see Gavin's eyeballs looking at me, just waiting for it.
And this is the answer. This is why we brought Mark on the show, David. This is your intervention.
I know. But I will say, Mark, I do agree with that. Every once in a while, I have a night out where I'm just like, fuck, I have some great friends, and I just think, good people find each other, and no, that's true. I'm not going to even make a joke about that. That's true. That is, I just agree with you on that.
That is the most # gratitude I've ever heard from you. Here in 2025.
I know.
But that is very true. And what about what's the shittiest parenting advice you've heard from somebody else that you thought, I will never ever spread that nonsense?
Other than sleep when the baby sleeps. That's the worst one for me.
Shitty advice. I would say, all right, this the old school Asian way is, it's really shame based. because there's this idea that, well, there's, obviously upholding your name is like a big deal, right? In Asian culture, right? And so if there's something within that old school Asian parent that kind of thinks, well, if I insult my kid, then the kid's going to say, oh, dang it, I'm going to try even harder. And that actually kind of works when you're a small kid, because you just don't know anybody. You just want to please your mom and your dad. And so it kind of made me realize, oh, that's really, it's kind of sucks. It's really not a good way. It's not sustainable as we're prone to say. But
did you learn that as a young parent, or even before parenting, or when did you
that was as a parent? And I mean, it wasn't even right away. It was just kind of, it was watching my mother like parent our kids. And that's when I kind of had to step in it and be like, no, you can't do that.
It's such a fascinating window, is watching your parent your kids. Yes. And you're like, oh wait, I see. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah. No.
And I think that happens. I mean, I'm sure that happens all the time when, there's that conflict between parent and child when the grandchild is born, because you start to resent the parent for the grandparent, I guess, for the way that they parented you. And so it's really, there's that clash that feels like it's almost inevitable. It's really, and then the parents kind of like, the grandparents just kind of like, well, this is what I try to do my best. Right. And it's just like, you turned out fine and all this other stuff. And so
I'm not fine. Look at me. I'm on a podcast, for God's sake.
I'm hideous.
But also, I think they get defensive about any change to what they did. Feels like an attack on what they did. And sometimes it is, let's be honest. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's like, hey, we have new information. We've learned that you sleep on your back now. That doesn't mean you were a shitty parent because you put me face down while you were smoking a cigarette indoors.
Right.
But it is, we've learned new things.
Or we hope, anyway.
No.
Or we hope.
Exactly.
You know what? You touched a little bit upon your edit that.
I'm keeping it in because, Gavin, we've had a perfect interview so far, and I don't want to have to edit anymore.
It was a perfect game.
Great.
Until you fucked it up.
I skipped one question, which I'm curious is how much is coaching like being an attorney, or vice versa?
You know what? It's pretty much diametric opposites.
I set you up for that. Actually, just another reason to hate your profession.
It was interesting because when you're taught how to ask questions and so forth, I realized it was actually the opposite of how I've been trained as a lawyer. And so as a litigator, all my time is spent trying to pin you to a corner, right? Everything starts out with, don't you think, isn't it true? Right. Yeah. Yes, no questions, all this other stuff. And
leading questions. And you can't ask.
Yeah.
You can't ask.
And also asking kind of even rapid fire questions, right? One after the other. It's called like stacking questions, where you just want to, you put the other person a little bit on the defensive, right? And that's exactly the opposite of how you should approach a client. It's really, it's asking open-ended questions, just being really quiet, and also, the listening to questions part is obviously critical for both, but it's really just kind of sensing energy, sensing kind of, detail, and really just letting, not being afraid of the silences.
Which is parenting too, I suppose, huh?
Yeah.
So I did want to ask just a little bit, and I know that we could have another entirely different podcast just talking about your incredibly fascinating upbringing, but will you just give us the Cliff's Notes on how and what circumstances you grew up under?
Yeah. So I was born in Tokyo. My father was from Taiwan. He grew up in Taiwan. My mother's from Japan. And we moved. So I was born in Tokyo, moved to New York, DC, Tokyo, DC, Boston, and Rome. And when we got to Rome, I was still only 11 years old. So that all happened in 11 years.
Club.
And we lived in
Another
4
club.
years in Rome.
Club,
Yeah.
bus, airplane, club. Sorry, continue. Yeah.
And it was because my father was a deep cover CIA agent.
What?
Isn't that so fascinating?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to
I
say
kid
that?
you not.
Right,
I am.
Okay.
He got an overt retirement. So
Wow.
that's actually unusual in and of itself. And so once he was able to say he worked for the CIA, he had this card, which he was very happy to show anybody who would give him the time of day.
Yeah.
And also, he had to go on a big apology tour because he had to like everybody he had met, family, all this other stuff. He had to say, I'm really sorry, that I misled you, and this is what I used to do. And
your dad was basically Will Smith in Men in Black. Like he had a little flashy thing. That's what my brain went to. Like he saved the world from aliens. We don't know.
He was. So his title was non-official cover, a knock. And so the thing I like to mention is, in that first Mission Impossible movie where Tom Cruise is dangling from the wires and he's uploading that floppy disk. That's how long ago it was.
The floppy,
right?
yes.
The floppy disk. And that floppy disk had a list of all knocks around the world. And so my dad would have been on that list. No big deal. But, on that floppy disk.
Did he grow up a little Taiwanese boy thinking, I want to go work for the American CIA because no one will believe that I am somebody you need to stalk? I mean, how did that come about?
He went to the U.S. To study. He went to Georgetown and he got kicked out of Georgetown. It may have been because he was gambling, doing a lot of poker and stuff.
Yeah.
David knows something.
But eventually, he ended up in Europe, and he was kind of partying and drinking his way throughout Spain and France. And then he decided, okay, I need to get serious about things, and he quite literally picked up the Count of Monte Cristo and a dictionary and started learning French. And he was admitted into Sciences Po, which is the political science school of the University of Paris, and it was
sort of the Harvard of France. Okay,
yeah, and he got his bachelor's and his master's there, and by that time he knew 5 languages, so that made him automatically a very attractive candidate, and he was recruited.
Wow.
And this was also during the James Bond era. So this was I can imagine that this was extremely exciting for him. So,
no shit.
To be fair, Pig Latin was one of the 5 languages, which doesn't really count, but okay.
And Wookiee.
Yes.
So he was really, it was glamorous for him, but it was also obviously a huge, what a high wire act where you just have to constantly be on alert and so he did it for 20 years and then he retired. And so he retired at 52 years old.
Wow.
Which was, insanely young.
Yeah.
Hashtag life goals.
Yeah.
I'm probably lucky to live that long, frankly, huh?
Yeah. It was when we were in Rome, that was in the middle of the Cold War and Libyans. One of the things, one super, super close call was that there's a Libyan who was assassinated in Rome at that time, like a brazen assassination. And the crazy thing is my father was supposed to meet him like the week after. So just, if he had like a card, like a business card or something on him, or they would have been able to trace him back to it. And also he's not affiliated at that point. He's not affiliated with the U.S. government at all. So, right. Mm-hmm. So the U.S. government would just be like, yeah, we don't know this guy. He's a rogue,
Oh.
So.
That is bonkers. I got the pleasure of meeting Mark's wife, Mark's mom a few years ago. And I did ask her basically, because I had just found out about the CIA story. So I was brazen enough to be like, what was it like to be the wife of a CIA agent? And I remember her saying, basically, she said, constant fucking stress. It was so, she was so stressed all the time, not knowing if he was going to come home alive. I mean,
Yes.
I can't imagine. She did not say fucking, by the way. Well, Mark, tell us, first of all, thank you for demeaning yourself by being on our stupid little podcast.
Yes, thank you.
I do want to remind folks of your book. If we have 10 more minutes, I'll read the title again, okay? Do we have that?
Yeah.
Please open in the event of my death, a daughter's advice to his daughters in case something horrible happens, which hopefully it won't, but just in case, where can they find your book?
It can be found on Amazon. It can also be found, I believe, on Mascot Books as well, which is the publisher.
Love it.
I also did the audiobook as well, which was my attempt to emote and act and stuff. So
right. All right.
Yeah,
so
and also
too.
available in Kindle, Kindle and all this other stuff. So it's good.
Always our last question. Please tell us one of those shit storms of parenting that you will never, ever, ever forget.
The thing that came to mind for me was one of my daughters, I will not name which one, was when around, again, five-ish or so, during the summer, we would send them to day camps, right, for the week. And this one involved princess. It was like literally a princess camp. And so, and at the end of the week, there was this big performance where they just kind of run around and grab ass and all this other stuff, right? And so we go there, and every kid is just wearing like a beautiful, princess outfit, and
that's what you were paying for, was the dress at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And all we saw was our daughter just wearing like a normal dress, and they're just like, well, what happened? Well, it turned out she pooped herself because she said, and I got some more details, but she was sitting down, and she's lactose intolerant.
Oh no.
And she just kind of started pooping, and she just let it go. So years later, we're watching Bridesmaids, and that scene with Maya Rudolph is just in the middle of the street, pooping in that dress. She really related to that.
Yeah. There is that just like event horizon over once you start, you're like, I guess this is what we're doing now at this point.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's great.
Gavin. Yeah.
Thank you again, Mark. Total pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
And
thank you, guys.
Good luck with the next book and your next chapter and your next career. Okay.
Thank you. We'll try.
So my something great this week, I couldn't even talk about it out loud after I saw it because I was getting too choked up, is I saw the Broadway musical Maybe Happy Ending 2 days ago. And it is one of the best new shows I've seen in a decade. Wow. It is so beautiful. It's so simple. The visual storytelling is fucking wild, but it is just, to me, the best theater just stirs up emotion. It could be rage, it could be joy, it could be laughter, it could be sad, it could be whatever. But I always get disappointed when I see a show and I walk out kind of like, yeah, that was kind of cool. Like it didn't stir anything in me. I was just choking back tears for the last half hour of this show. It was so beautiful. I don't want to say too much about it, but basically it's about two robots outside of Seoul, Korea, who fall in love. That's it. And you're like, David, how is that a musical? I don't know, but they did it, and it's fucking beautiful, and it's wonderful, and it's gonna win all the awards. I can't imagine it won't. So if you're hearing the sound of my voice and you have access to go see Broadway shows, buy tickets now, because these tickets will go very quickly. Maybe Happy Ending.
I love the scenario of two robots in South Korea. I mean, frankly, weirder things have happened in the musical theater canon, that's for sure. Although, I mean, that's up there. That is definitely up there. But I mean, you got to hand it to the musical theater world of sometimes thinking very conventionally and in the box, and sometimes thinking very unconventionally.
What about a barber who murders people and then cooks them and then sells the pies? It's like, yeah, that's one of the most famous shows.
And what about a musical about 9/11, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. But this one, also what I'll say about this one is that it's totally original. Everything is original. It's not based off of anything. There's no previous IP. All the music is new. Everything, the way they do the set is incredible. It's really good. Anyway, that's my something great this week.
So I'm going to end the way that I began, which is sledding again. So last night, you know how the diminishing returns on sledding are vast, right? I mean, by the next day after a fresh snowfall, it's quickly downhill. But last night, just at sundown, my daughter said, "Will you come sledding with me?" And I thought, I'm not going to go to the country club. And she said, no, just over at the neighbor's hill. And so the three of us, my kids and I, we did our own sledding last night. No jumps involved. Our dog was with us, trying to, for some reason, run alongside us and bite our mittens off, which I feel like is a very dog thing while you sled.
It's also very Norman Rockwell, way that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, very Norman Rockwell. The whole thing was Norman Rockwellian. But in general, my kids did want to still hang out with me. And something great is thinking, I don't really want to go get cold right now. I don't really want to put on boots. I don't really. And then you just do it, and you gotta, because guess what? In a few years, they won't be in the backseat anymore, and that is our show. If you have any comments, suggestions, or general compliments, you can email us at GaytriarchsPodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can DM us on Instagram. We are at GaytriarchsPodcast on the internet. David is at David FM Vaughn everywhere, and Gavin is at Gavin Lodge on Aww.
Please leave us a glowing 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks, and we'll hurt our back with you next time on another episode of Gaytriarchs.